You know, it never ceases to amaze me that the modern day clout chasing sellout of our generation will stoop to levels unfathomable just to get his name, image, and likeness out there. Okay? Jason Whitlock is toilet bowl scum you can't even scrub off with Comet. Okay? Now, in the latest rendition of buffoonery that comes out his fat lips, I'm going to play a clip of what he said about Don Staley, the head coach for the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. And I'm going to provide commentary on the other side. And if you are sensitive to the things I might say, then you may not want to watch this video. But nevertheless, let's get right to it. DJ, spin that shit. DJ, spin that shit.
A memo went out before that game yesterday. It was like, hey, guys, we're making a fool of ourselves. We're pissing everyone off. We're exposing how wicked and demonic and racist we are. Sue Bird, cut it out. Diana Taurasi, cut it out. Lynette Woodward, put out an apology. Don Staley, run out here and pretend like, continue this gimmick that you love God and that, you know, Caitlin Clark is great. You know how long ago Don Staley could have told everybody, hey, get up off of Caitlin Clark's back? You know how long ago she could have done that? But she waited until after she won a championship. And now it's time to back off and tell everybody. She could have done that when some woman she didn't know that had nothing to do with women's college basketball, Rachel Richardson or whatever the Duke volleyball player was, when her auntie talked her into claiming that BY students chanted the N-word at her, Don Staley jumped in this conversation from South Carolina. Duke is playing BYU in Utah in volleyball. Don Staley jumped in that conversation all the way from South Carolina to defend Rachel Richardson, who was lying. Caitlin Clark gets abused all season. Everybody's trying to denigrate and diminish her. Don Staley's quiet and said, well, now that I got my championship, now God is good. And ain't God funny? And God answers all prayers. And oh, I'm so highly favored now that I've won a champion. You was favored long before you won your first championship, and this is your third. And now you got all these crocodile tears on your third championship. You're more emotional about a third championship. You've lost one game in 2 years. And now, oh God, isn't God so good? I just won my third championship. And I'm just bent over and I'm crying because I've lost one game in 2 years. And now this is proof of how good God is. Don Staley won a championship. God is good. Well, had you lost, what would you have said?
Now, I want to apologize to you for subjecting you to this verbal diarrhea of the mouth, right? But let's get something out the way. First of all, Don Staley didn't have to say anything about Caitlin Clark. That's for one. For two, have you considered, you fat gelatinous ass clown, that the only reason she even talks about Caitlin Clark because the reporters that are sitting at that press conference is asking her questions about Caitlin Clark, and they're baiting her into saying something about Caitlin Clark so they can run their own goddamn story about it. Another thing that we need to add to that, Caitlin Clark is not Don Staley's fucking player. You idiot. So what was she supposed to say before the game? Huh? Since you the all in, all be all to everything in media, what the fuck was she supposed to say before the game, huh? And since you're a man of quote unquote faith and all that, right? Since you are holier than thou, right? Because I haven't forgotten what you said about Deion Sanders, the head coach for the Colorado Buffaloes, right? You big titty fuck. You big titty bulbous ass rancid individual. You are the epitome of a fucking sellout. You would sell me out for 2 pieces of chicken with coleslaw and mashed potatoes and a lemonade at Popeyes. You cheap bastard. So you sitting up here questioning Don Staley's faith. Who the fuck is you to sit up here and questions anybody's faith in God or whatever? Who is you? Dawn Staley is the epitome of excellence. The only woman to have won Player of the Year, because she did it at the University of Virginia twice. And she won Coach of the Year 4 times at the University of South Carolina. She is the gold standard of women's college basketball. And now here you come right up the rear trying to cast aspersions and trying to say stuff that'll make her lose her luster. Now, mind you, none of the contemporaries that are associated with Dawn Staley are saying anything negative about her. Obviously, the University of South Carolina loves her. The players that came before her and the players that are playing now love her. So, who is this guy in Jason Whitlock to call himself running his mouth the way he is about Dawn Staley? You're a disgusting dude. You are a fucking hater. I swear to God, man, you are a fucking hater. It just makes absolutely no sense to where you will sit up here and run your mouth all recklessly about Dawn Staley. What Dawn Staley did to you, huh? What in the hell did Dawn Staley do to you? That's all I'm trying to figure out. What in the hell did Dawn Staley do to you? So you go at Dawn Staley because Dawn Staley didn't put on the cape for Caitlin Clark. Dawn Staley doesn't even coach Caitlin Clark, you buffoon. She has absolutely no obligation to speak up for Caitlin Clark. And this is an ongoing pattern with you, Jason Whitlock. This is an ongoing pattern with you. You sit up here and you attack black athletes. You sit up here and attack black coaches or whatever like that, and yet you put on the cape for a woman who did not ask you to put on the cape for her. Caitlin Clark did not ask you to be her Superman. Then you sitting up here talking about, oh, she dominated college basketball. Really? Really? She dominated college basketball? Why you didn't say the same thing about Breonna Stewart? Breonna Stewart won the national championship all 4 years she played in college. You didn't say her, but you didn't say nothing about her being dominant in college basketball or whatever like that. But then again, I don't expect you to, because you look at white women like how you look at a jelly donut at Krispy Kreme. I'm telling you, there's no low that this guy won't stoop to. And then he calls himself trying to offer some thinly veiled apology. Like that's supposed to change anything. Oh my God. Boy, Too Raw, you crazy. Boy, Too Raw, you crazy. Shout out to my man Too Raw for TV. Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm. He need to check his stock at Wesley Sizzling Hair. He might as well go ahead and check his stock at Golden Corral too. Because them the only two places he be at the front lines of. Don't expect him to be at the front lines of anything black related. So once again, what's your deal? What's your deal, Jason? What's your problem with Dawn Staley? Huh? Dawn Staley haven't done anything to anybody. Dawn Staley is doing her own thing. And she don't get not nearly enough respect, in my opinion. Who paying you, huh? And more importantly, what are they paying you? They're paying you in milk-bone dog biscuits, huh? That's what Glenn Becker's paying you for you to come out here and run your mouth off recklessly about Dawn Staley while trying to put on the scrappy do cape for Caitlin Clark. 2 years in a row, Caitlin Clark goes to the national championship game. 2 years in a row, she loses the national championship game. But yet she's getting labeled the GOAT? Are you fucking kidding me? She's the GOAT, right? She's the GOAT. And then they're pushing this lie about her being the all-time leading scorer. And shout out to one of them, I can't remember his name, who put the comment in my comment section, but Pearl Moore is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history. It's Pearl Moore, not Caitlin Clark. So they're sitting here pushing these lies in the media. You got Nike giving Caitlin Clark an 8-figure contract, and she hasn't done anything in the WNBA. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't dribbled a ball yet in the WNBA. And yet she's getting an 8-figure contract. Meanwhile, Diana Taurasi, Adrian Wilson, Skylar Diggins, fucking Liz Cambage, fucking Aaliyah Ball, all these women that are playing in women's college basketball. Let's not forget about the Cheryl Swoopses and the Lisa Leslies and the Shamiko. All these women who came before Caitlin Clark, they didn't get no shoe deal with Nike. They didn't get no shoe deal with anybody. The Brittany Grinders and all that. All these women who has came before Caitlin Clark, and yet Caitlin Clark is getting all this praise. She's getting all this hype because it is white media driven. Because remember when she lost the national championship game the first time, you had the Candace Parkers of the world, the Rebecca Lobos, all these women who are Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers. None of them got a shoe deal, but this Great White Hope, this white media driven Great White Hope is getting shot with all these praise and all these other consolation prizes and an 8-figure shoe deal with Nike, right? Yeah, Becky Hammond. The list goes on and on. None of them got shoe deals, but Caitlin Clark gets a shoe deal. She gets shot with all this fake media praise and all that, but you go at a real woman and Dawn Staley. Why don't you call that out, you fat gelatinous freak? This man is repulsive. Okay, there's not enough words that I have in the Webster's dictionary that I can describe, or in the thesaurus. There's a whole kind of synonyms I want to say about you, and there's a whole kinds of antonyms I want to say about you too. You are disgusting. You sitting up here questioning people's faith. Meanwhile, you committed every deadly sin there is out there. And you supposed to get respect put on your name, Jason Whitlock? Shit. The Washington Mystics moved their game from, they normally play their games at the GW campus, right? They're going to move their game from there to the Capital One Arena, all because of this hype that Caitlin Clark put out. What's up, Kevin Wedderburn? Yeah. Now, look. See, Fatlock is the Pizza Hut from the Spaceball. Oh my goodness gracious, bro! I'm telling you, for all this hype she's getting, she better do something in the WNBA if she's getting all this hype. Caitlin Clark could do no wrong in the white media. She can go out there and do the whole Tony Yayo, you can't see me, right? And that's Tony Yayo shit, not John Cena. And John Cena even admitted himself on the Tonight Show episode with Jimmy Fallon that he got that from Tony Yayo. So when she did the whole you can't see me, right? Doing Tony Yayo shit, where Jason Whitlock was at about that? When Caitlin Clark was out here taunting people and disrespecting them, right? Where was Jason Whitlock at about that? Huh? Where was Jason Whitlock at about that? You ain't heard shit about Jason Whitlock going at Caitlin Clark about that. But no, anytime anybody black does something, and this the thing, Dawn Staley didn't even say anything wrong. If anything, the media tried to bait her, that whoever that reporter was tried to bait her into saying something so that way he can take it and run with it. Because they don't ask no other questions like that to any of the other coaches. Not the Gino Oriemas, not the LSU coach. They didn't ask the Iowa coach. They didn't ask none of them other coaches that type of questions they asked Dawn Staley. Right? But Jason Whitlock, old fat ass, won't call that out though. He won't call that out. He won't call out how Dawn Staley was being bullied in the media and by these reporters and these beat writers or whatever like that. These so-called reporters. He won't call that out though. But as soon as Dawn Staley try to walk that fine line and try to answer a question, then here he come right up the rear, spitting his little verbal diarrhea of the mouth. There's no level of buffoonery that this guy won't stoop to. And every time you run your mouth all recklessly, and I just went at this clown over the weekend, last weekend, about what he said about Simone Biles. So Simone Biles, really, Jason Whitlock, you go at Simone Biles? Simone Biles is trying to be like Caitlin Clark? How can she be like Caitlin Clark when, one, the two professions that they partake in ain't even the same? Caitlin Clark is playing a team sport. Simone Biles is an individual sport of gymnastics. Simone Biles has won at the highest level of her profession. Caitlin Clark has not. She has failed on 2 different occasions to win the national championship. Were you at the strip club, not watching the game? Right? You say you a proponent of women's basketball and all that. How could you? Because you clearly glossed over that. Simone Biles has won at the highest profession at her profession. She has won at the highest level of her profession. That's what I wanted to say. Caitlin Clark has failed to win the national championship on 2 different occasions. And she has a target on her back in the WNBA because they're coming. All those legends, all the best players in the WNBA is going to come for Caitlin Clark. And she better prove something. Because if you think that she's just going to walk in there and just take over the league like that, you got another thing coming, Jason. And then what would your excuse be, huh? What would your excuse? Oh, they're bullying Caitlin Clark. Oh, they're not treating Caitlin Clark with respect. Once again, Caitlin Clark did not ask you to save her. And parts of me want to believe that Caitlin Clark don't want you saving her. Huh? So when she fails to win the WNBA championship next year, what's your excuse gonna be? Huh? What's your excuse gonna be? When she struggles in the WNBA in her rookie year, and I could be very wrong about that. I just want to put that disclaimer out there for a lot of you racists, a lot of you trolls, a lot of you buffoons out there that hang on everything I say. I don't give a fuck about what you say, but you hang on my every word, right? Because I want to make you throw your goddamn TV out the window when I say some shit. Anyway, if and when Caitlin Clark don't win the WNBA championship next year, right? Because they got teams out there, the Las Vegas Aces, two-time defending champ, right? Chicago Sky's gonna be improved. The New York Liberty stacked, as my man like Mike Lewis said in the comment section, right? So, and then don't forget about the Washington Mystics and Elena Della Don, because she's a beast too. We ain't even talked about the Washington Mystics and Elena Della Don. She's a beast. So, what you talk about, Jason? What's going to be your excuse, huh? What is going to be the thing you say that's going to tip this thing over the top? Huh? What you going to say? I'm waiting, Jason. I'm waiting. What's the excuse going to be when she fails to win WNBA championship, huh? Oh, you got to give her time. But if she's the GOAT, if she's the greatest thing since sliced bread, her game should be able to travel, no matter where she is. If she's the GOAT, right? Oh, but you don't want to say that though. You don't want to tell the truth about that though, Jason. You don't want to tell the truth about that, Jason. But all right, that's all right though. I got something for you. Every time you say something dumb and the train's never laid on that, right? Just like how James Harden out here choking games late and be choking in these playoffs, right? After coming off an impressive game, right? The train's never laid on that, right? Shout out to Raw for TV for his video about that. But when it comes to you and saying something stupid or being on some coon shit or whatever like that, right? You along with Shamika Michelle, that girl you got on your goddamn platform, right? That goddamn on house mammy. The trainer's never late for you saying something stupid. And every time you say something dumb, I'm gonna come right up the rear and figuratively put my foot in your ass. Figuratively speaking. I'm going to put my foot in your ass every time you say something stupid. And the train's never late on that. When it comes to that, it is on time for you to say something dumb. So what's your deal with Dawn Staley, huh? What's your deal with Dawn Staley? So this what else he said. This will be my last controversial statement of today, but South Carolina, all this pretending like they were somehow magically close to this championship, called the Reverend Coach fake. Then he dared to take a swipe at Staley's coaching abilities. This is what he said about her a couple weeks ago on the Fox Sports podcast. At that, he was on a Fox Sports radio show. This is what he said. Dawn Staley is not a great coach, or she hasn't proven to be a great coach. She acquires talent and she gets out of the way. She brings her dog to practice and rolls out. Anybody that watched the game, that was not some strange masterpiece that was put together, he continued. Staley ruffled a few feathers after her name was floated as a possible coaching candidate for the Charlotte Hornets. If tapped, Staley would become the first woman to jump from college basketball into the NBA head coaching ranks. So she fake, huh? Is Dawn Staley fake? So she acquires talent, right? So, okay, so if she acquires talent and that talent just happens to win, and then that talent goes on to the WNBA, become WNBA All-Stars, and then that same talent that she acquired goes on to win the WNBA championship, then obviously she's doing something right, you buffoon. And then that stupid ass argument is in bad faith, considering that we've had great teams not win it because of coaching. You name the sport, and then you can point to a team that a lot of prognosticators and a lot of experts said that this team is supposed to win it all, and yet for whatever reason they didn't win it all because of bad coaching. A woman who only lost 3 games in 3 years, but she's a bad coach, right? She just acquired all this talent, loses 3 games in 3 years, wins 2 national championships in 3 years, but she's a bad coach. Get the fuck out of here, man. You clown, bro. You fucking clown, bro. Obviously, she's doing something right. You win 2 national championships in 3 years. You lose 3 games in 3 years, but she's a bad coach? Look, Jason, look, I know you want to be a troll and all that, but you're not doing a great job of one. Okay? Because you yourself can't even lie to the viewers like that without the viewers going, there's something wrong with that statement. You a buffoon, man. I swear to God, man. I swear on you a goddamn buffoon, man. You are. You are a buffoon. There's no level of disrespect that I have. I have so much disrespect for you. There's no levels to that. Okay? You are a fucking clown, bro. I swear to God, man. There's no Lord. Not only you a liar, but you're a goddamn gaslighter. You're gonna blatantly gaslight me by saying that on a Fox Sports radio show about Dawn Staley. She's not a great coach. The fuck, man. You know what? Let me know what y'all think, man. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Salute to everybody that's watching this stream. Salute to everybody that's going to watch this stream. And last but definitely not least, shouts out to the mighty Lions Den basketball community. This your man. Scream at me. Hurt!